What is going on, guys? This is Jason of Auglitical. I swim through the politics so you don't drown too. I am just a man trying to bring common sense in a world where common sense isn't so common. You know something I hate? I hate when people talk down to me, right? And I'm trying to sit there and be nice to them. I also hate when people sit there and lie in my face. Like I can't see the bullshit in front of me. Like I can't smell the bullshit in front of me. Like I can't touch the bullshit in front of me. Like it's not happening. And they'll sit there and they'll change words and they'll make it sound all fancy like these things are not happening and that you're the one who's bugging out. You're the crazy one. I think Elon Musk said it pretty well. Recently he posted on Twitter that trying to explain these type of things to these type of people is like trying to tell somebody that they're in a burning building, and even though they can see the fire, they refuse and they refuse and they won't budge. Anyway, so the city of Pittsburgh, let's talk about it. Let's look at this video because the city of Pittsburgh is literally open season right now. Let's get into it.
Rick, what was the big takeaway today?
Yeah, Susan, residents of the city will see a major change in the way police respond. They will no longer respond to calls that aren't considered in progress emergency. That means calls
That's a fucking mistake. Let's
like
continue.
criminal mischief, theft, harassment, and most burglary alarms will all be handled by an enhanced telephone reporting unit. That means residents will file a police report over the phone. Officers will not respond unless it's an emergency. Also, between the hours of 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., there will be no officers at any of the 6 stations throughout the city. Call boxes that link directly to 911 have been installed for people to use in case of an emergency.
Bro, what's that fucking movie? What's that movie? Pittsburgh just turned into that movie. What's that movie? What's that movie? And that it was so fucking stupid, and yet at the same time it has a cult following where police, fire departments, medical staff, they stop working for like 1 day a year or 2 days a year or some crazy shit like that. And like at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, you gotta survive for that entire night. So everybody can just murder whoever because during that time there's no such thing as law. What was that fucking movie? The Grudge? No, not The Grudge. The Grudge is a ghost. It's on the tip of my fucking tongue. It was such a fucked up movie, right? Because people was like, this movie is so terrible, it's so bad, and it's like this could, and people was like, but this could never happen. This is literally it right here. This is it right here. Because if police are not gonna respond to any emergency calls, and you're leaving fucking police boxes out here, what do you think is a woman just gonna run to a police box while some guy's trying to rape her? Excuse me, police. And then, well, it's not even a call dispatcher, right? But if it was a call dispatcher, yes, what's your emergency? What seems to be the problem? I'm being raped. Well, do you have any family members or a boyfriend you can go to? He's a liberal. He's the first one who's being raped currently. Like what the fuck? Like what is this? Like it's the Purge, the fucking Purge. There it is, the Purge. The Purge. Have you seen that movie? I think there's 3 of them. And the funniest thing about that movie is a lot of people sitting there going, "Yeah, them white people paying all those people in poverty. Those are the ones because they thought that the rich people were preying on the people who were poor, which for some part, yes, they had the more resources to do it. But then you find out not everyone's bad. The ones who took part of it were just shitheads. They were just criminals. They were horrible people. And so you had people come together from all walks of life that was like, we're not down with this shit. But this is what this is in Pittsburgh right now. And the funniest thing about Pittsburgh, sorry, let's continue. I'm getting on a tangent. I'm sorry. Let me shut the fuck up.
And during the overnight shift, there will be as few as 20 officers to cover the entire city.
Nigga, there's 20 officers. Pittsburgh has, I think, 233,000 people. Or 333,000 people. How many people are in Pittsburgh? I'm sorry. How many people are in Pittsburgh? What is what is the I believe it's hold on. Hold up. Pittsburgh population. Whatever. Population. There is and that wait, but that was in 2021. What is it right now? 2024. So it's shrinking. 297,000 people, 22 officers. Have you lost your fucking mind?
The chief said today the data supports that.
Yes, it's enough to cover the entire city in those hours when we have 8% of the time people are calling. I'm confident in the decisions that we make that it impacts this bureau and the city in a much better way than we have in the past.
I'm sorry, what's this officer's name? This guy who's feeding us bullshit right now? What is it? El Scroto? Law Scrotum? Listen, Law Scrotum. Don't fucking pee near us and then call it rain. Don't fucking sit there with this bullshit. When do people do crimes? Criminals commit crimes with the least amount of they always take the route of least resistance. Why do you think that criminals like to commit crimes in the dark? It's harder for them to be caught. It's harder for them to be identified. There's less people around. Why do you think people like to do the whole the people always masked up when they were doing all of this shit during BLM riots? Because they can cover their identity. They didn't care nothing about no fucking COVID. So you're gonna really sit here right now? You're gonna really sit here right now and say you truly believe that having 22 officers, I'm sorry, not even 22, 20 officers on call is going to protect 297,000 people in your city? Oh,
Those hours when we have 8% of the time people are calling. I'm confident in the decisions that we make that it impacts this bureau and the city in a much better way than we have in the past.
Now, the chief also acknowledging today that some of these changes are due to staffing shortages. He's down to 740 officers, well below the 850.
so then why is he sitting there fucking lying then? He's sitting here talking about we're making the best decisions to go forward. No, you're not making the best decisions. Your hands are fucking tied. You have no choice. You have a low recruitment of police officers because our country is going to shit. Our country's going to shit. Stop with why do you gotta lie about it? Elon Musk says, so they're only going to respond to extreme violence. More people are starting to see how important our Second Amendment is. Been saying it. If you can get a gun, get you a gun. If you can get a weapon, get a weapon. Because criminals, they're going to do that. The funniest thing about criminals that are majority of criminals that have guns, bro, when they shooing, they look all crazy. But when they get shot back at, they scurry like fucking roaches. They get so scared, they even drop the gun at the scene of the crime. I've seen it multiple times. People who are allowed to get well-maintained weapons and they learn, they train, and they do all of that have better armaments than the fucking criminals who are walking around with pipe guns, where they gotta pull the gun back and shoot it, and pull the gun back on every shot like they're using rifles, but they're handguns. Due to the gang dispute involving illegally obtained guns, we must act and ban legally obtained guns. Oh my gosh. You voted to defund the police, and now you don't feel safe in your community? Like, you can't make this shit up. That's not good. Giving crimes access and time to operate to attack innocent Americans. The ones who have been telling you for 40 years you don't need a gun, you can just call police. Just defunded the police. America is failing. Liberals, you don't need guns. The police will protect you. Also, liberals, defund the police. You know, wasn't there another thing that was going on where they was joking about how oh, the day black people can get guns, all of this thing about gun control would stop and everybody would give up guns once black people can be armed. The only people who are against black people getting legally armed firearms are people on the left. You know how many posts I've seen? Yeah, hell yeah, brother, come to the shooting range with me. Come to the shooting range with me. You got, yeah, I don't know what you talk about. I know how to handle a gun. And his man's like, you don't know how to handle no gun shooting it sideways. Come to the shooting range with me, brother. I'll teach you how to shoot. Man, listen. Only in Democrat-led cities will they say that less police on the job is a solution to wanton violence. If you live in Pittsburgh, you should move out immediately. The people in charge there have just given up. And here's the thing. When was the last time? When was the last time Pittsburgh had a Republican mayor? The last Republican mayor was in 1933. 1933. Holy shit. Maybe it's about time we change course. What do you think? Anyway, guys, I'll check you next time. Peace.